We're talking about flying cars again. BMW has also given up on their stupid heated seat subscription idea. We're going to have to talk about Logan Sargeant because only 3 seats now in F1 for the next year are not accounted for. And I guess Ford decided that they're tired of being the blue oval and old and boring, and now they're the slightly darker blue oval. So, my name's Ron Mraz, and you're watching ECU. Okay, so we're going to be talking about BMW here because that heated seat debacle that they got themselves into a little over 5 or 6 months ago now is finally over. I guess they came out and they said that they're just not going to do it anymore because, well, I mean, obviously public outcry, but also every single BMW, the reason they wanted to do this subscription model in the first place already has the heated seats in it. I think some number like 80% of BMWs are ordered with heated seats, so they wanted to make it, in quotes, more convenient to opt out because only 20% of people don't want it, so they figured those people would save money because they don't want it and they wouldn't be charged, but the vehicle has it anyways. So if you're following how stupid that is, it sounds to me like all BMWs realistically should just all have heated seats. It shouldn't be an option, it's a luxury car. And that's the root of the embarrassment and stupidity of this. To have a subscription for something that's already in the vehicle is to be an idiot. And the public outcry and absurdity of this, $18 a month, by the way, that's like nice Netflix now. People just weren't having it. And obviously, I guess they realized this. I don't know why it took them this long. But it seems as though they didn't necessarily learn their lesson because in their public response, I'll throw the quote up here, essentially, they were like, well, here's why we did it. We don't understand why the customers didn't want it, but we need to save face, so we'll change it. So they didn't learn their lesson, and frankly, it's a little embarrassing. This is probably like those luxury CEO type of people, marketing, all that, and not like the BMW M type guys who work for BMW, but regardless whose decision this was, it's very stupid, and it doesn't help BMW look any better. But on the good side, they're not doing it. So I guess that's a win. That's about all that there is worth talking about here, to be honest, with the heated seat debacle. Embarrassing for BMW. And they still don't get it, so don't buy a BMW. We need to talk about this flying car again, because I guess they came to the Detroit Auto Show, and they felt a little cocky. You know, it's a nice auto show. Hey, we've done this presentation before, but let's throw some new stuff out there. And they have a new video of their prototype flying, and it looks hilarious. Okay, it's got little rinky-dink wheels on it. And last time we talked about this, I was super skeptical and I said, I'll update you guys if there's anything new. I'll just take a look at this footage. Okay, so it is something that flies. It's very prototypey. I don't know that it drives yet. I would love to see those wheels be a little bigger and, you know, have an electric motor in it and whatever else you're going to use on the road. As a proof of concept, you know, it does fly, okay? But right now, it's just a drone, okay? It's not a flying car yet. So don't get our hopes up and don't come to my state telling me that you have a flying car when you don't. You can come back to Detroit when you actually have a legit flying car. But speaking of flying cars in Detroit, we'll move on from A-Lift or whatever the hell that's called, and let's get into the other flying car. So this one I don't know quite as much about, but let's just take a look at it. I'll keep it brief, okay, because it's not a car, and that's technically, it's not why you're here, but it is a drone, and it was at the Detroit Auto Show. It looks cooler than the flying car. Okay, maybe, I don't know. That's because the other kind of looks like a car. This one's just a drone. They don't claim it's a car, but it's a drone. Anyways, it's orange. It looks cool. It's got wings, and it's a quadcopter. And I believe the drone is starting at a cheaper price than the A-Lift car. That car is going to start, I believe, around $200,000 if they ever make it to production. I'll keep you updated. I'm a skeptic at heart with flying cars, but at least the quadcopter, that cool looking orange transformer thing, that is cheaper. I just had to show you this ridiculous prototype footage with the tiny wheels. We're still trying flying cars, guys. We're still trying. Before we get into the racing news, let's keep on talking about Detroit Auto Show, because this is a real quick story, but the new Ford F-150 has a new Ford logo. And like I was saying in the intro, they're just the darker blue oval now. I don't know what to say. Kind of newsworthy, but not really. It's cool, like it's darker, it's more minimal. So that's that. Super minimal, but hey, some people like to know when things are new, so they can make their own version of it. By all means, slap a black and white Ford logo on your Ford. have a blast. Williams this year has had a good year as compared to last year. They were at the bottom of the barrel, and this year they've come around and have a fairly decent car. Like I said in the intro, it's a driver issue. So what is this issue exactly? Well, essentially they have one solid driver and a rookie who is showing glimpses of speed, but so far Logan Sargeant hasn't shown that he can get into the points yet. He's gotten into Q3, he has had fast moments, so there's been a lot of talk about who could replace him. The things that are in his favor include the fact that there's not that many drivers lined up outside of the current grid that could actually replace him, at least not a large amount. And also Williams needs some consistency. They've gone through multiple drivers year after year, and so far, because this is his rookie season, it seems like it might work out as long as he performs and shows that he's here and can, in fact, get into the points by the end of this year. Because you also have to keep in mind that Logan Sargeant only had one season in Formula 2, and he did really well in that rookie year of Formula 2, and then he went straight to F1. Unfortunately, Williams doesn't have the best lineup for tracks and circuits until maybe Las Vegas, especially for Logan because he hasn't raced at most of these until some of the later Grand Prix. And I'll keep track of this, and I'll let you know if there's any updates for drivers in Formula 1. And while we're on the topic of Formula 1, let's talk about all these new liveries, decals, skins, whatever you want to call them, for these race cars coming up at the new Singapore Grand Prix. I guess it's not a new Grand Prix, but let's take a look at these McLarens. They look cool. What's your opinion? Orange and black, very nice. And then I guess while we're on the topic, like I said, Formula 1, I think Zhou Guan Yu was re-signed, which is why I was saying earlier there's only 3 seats. There were 4 seats that were unaccounted for. That is now 3, Logan Sargeant being one of those. That's Formula 1, and that's going to have to be it for this week's episode of ECU. I hope to see you next week. New videos Monday, Thursday, live stream on Friday. I'll see you then.